Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. I'm Stephanie Haney here with your latest updates for the state of Ohio. A lot of what we talk about lately is the COVID-19 coronavirus, of course, but that's not all we talk about. We also talk about the important things you need to know about here in Northeast Ohio. And many people were hit by pretty severe storms yesterday. And that has resulted in a lot of power outages for a lot of people. So we're going to start with that. There were tens of thousands power outages related to the storm that came through Northeast Ohio yesterday. The question everybody's asking is, was it a tornado? And the answer to that is maybe. The National Weather Service survey team is still looking into that. And in order to do that, they're surveying some of the areas in Northeast Ohio and taking a look at the debris. Now, a lot of you might be wondering, how is looking at the debris going to let them know whether there was actually a tornado or just what is called straight line winds that caused the damage that happened overnight? Well, typically, straight line wind damages, according to the National Weather Service, occurs when the debris is scattered uniformly or lying all in one direction. So if you have branches that came down from a tree, if those are all lying sort of in the same direction, that might be an indication that it was just regular old straight up wind that caused the damage last night. Now, if the debris around your property is twisted or laying in multiple directions, that could point toward the possibility that a tornado did actually touch down in Ohio overnight. So we're still looking into that, and we'll get confirmation from the National Weather Service on what their call is related to if a tornado actually touched down in Northeast Ohio yesterday. But for now, many people are still without power, and we are learning that some people might not get that power back until 11:30 p.m. on Thursday. As of about 30 minutes ago, the hardest hit counties included Summit County, which has almost 13,000 outages. That is an area that is expected not to necessarily get full service back until 11:30 p.m. on Thursday. Medina had close to 9,300 outages. Mahoning has about 2,700 outages. Portage, about 2,500 outages. Cuyahoga County, almost 2,000 outages. Stark County, where I'm from, 1,900 outages there. Wayne County, about 1,700 outages. And in Lorain, they're dealing with almost 1,200 outages. And then Geauga County sort of topping out those lists of the top counties with the most damage. Geauga having 764 outages. Geauga County is expected to possibly get its power back by 6 p.m., but for the most part, those other counties are looking at Thursday at different times throughout the day, at the latest 11:30 p.m. So sending those people positive thoughts today, because we're all sitting at home, and if you don't have power, you don't have internet. So we're thinking of those people. All right, now we're going to move on to our COVID-19 coronavirus updates for the state of Ohio and also nationally and around the world. Yesterday, the latest numbers that we got from the Ohio Department of Health left us with these numbers. 4,782 confirmed cases of COVID-19 coronavirus here in the state of Ohio. That's a total of 1,354 people currently hospitalized. And of those, 417 are currently in the intensive care unit. Our death toll has jumped to 167. The age range of people who are testing positive so far is less than 1 year old to 101 years old, with that median age being 54 for the positive tests and split relatively evenly between males and females at 48% of males and 52% of females out of those total 4,782 confirmed positive cases of COVID-19 coronavirus. We do have some potential good news related to the outbreak here in Ohio specifically. Metro Health data suggests a peak in Cuyahoga County may be a lot lower. Now, this was with an exclusive interview. Our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, talked with Metro Health CEO and President Dr. Akram Boutros and got this information. Boutros said that Metro Health's projections for COVID-19 in Cuyahoga County predict a significantly lower number of infections than the county expected. Now, this is just for Cuyahoga County. Keep this in mind. And Dr. Boutros, stressed the importance of maintaining physical distances, and it doesn't mean that we can go back to normal. It means that what we have been doing is working. So hopefully those projections hold true, at least for Cuyahoga County from Metro Health. So some good news there. Related to people who have already come down with COVID-19 coronavirus, and have recovered. The Centers for Disease Control is considering adjusting its guidelines for those people who are recovered. They're looking into changing protocols for them possibly returning to work after they've been exposed and are now asymptomatic, meaning they're no longer showing symptoms of COVID-19 coronavirus, but they have tested positive for it, but now seem to have gotten through it. And so the possible changes that might be coming there include, if those people do return to work, having their temperature taken twice a day and requiring those people to wear face masks while in public. Now remember, the purpose of the face masks is not to prevent germs from getting into your system, but it's to prevent your germs from getting out there and possibly infecting someone else. So that's why the CDC is also recommending that all of us wear cloth masks when we're out in public when we have to be doing essential activities. So this isn't a far deviation from that guideline that's already been recommended by the CDC, but this is just taking it a step further to possibly get people who have tested positive for COVID-19 coronavirus to be able to return to the workforce. So this is not a suggested guideline from the CDC at this point related to people returning to the workforce, but it is something that they are reportedly considering. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. In Wuhan, where for all intents and purposes, as far as we're aware, this COVID-19 coronavirus originated, they have ended a 76-day lockdown. So the last restrictions have been lifted. This was a nearly 11-week lockdown in the city of Wuhan. Public transportation is again being used widely, and thousands of people are going outside, we are seeing in Wuhan. While Wuhan has lifted their restrictions, those leaving the city will still face quarantine in other parts of China. And as a reminder, here in Ohio, if people are coming into Ohio, if they're returning home from other places where they've been, we do now have an order for quarantine for 14 days in the state of Ohio if you are returning to Ohio from somewhere else. So that's your latest update today related to what's going on in Northeast Ohio and also the COVID-19 coronavirus. I'll be back here at 2 p.m. as soon as we get those updated numbers from the Ohio Department of Health. With those new numbers, again, remember, as Dr. Amy Acton has told us repeatedly, these numbers are indicative of the testing that has been done, not necessarily the total number of cases in Ohio. But as soon as we get those new numbers at 2 p.m., we'll be back here live with that for you. We'll see you there. And in the meantime, you can catch us at noon with 3 News Connect. That's with Jay Crawford and our senior health correspondent, Monica Roberts, answering more of your questions there about the coronavirus. That's on the air on 3 News. We also stream that on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Catch us there, and I'll be back here at 2 p.m. I'm Stephanie Haney.